Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nida Syafitri Ariani. Today I will make a video of explaining the resume of Unit 1 to 7. Chapter 1 Introduction. I will explain about English pronunciation. English pronunciation is an important purpose of the course is to explain how English is pronounced in the essay normally chosen as the standard for people learning the English spoken in England. If this was the only thing the course did, more suitable title would have been English pronunciation. Phonemes is in any language we can identify a small number of regular used sound, vowel and consonant. For example, the vowel in the word pin and pen are different phonemes, and so are the consonant at the beginning of the word pet and bed. Syllable is the rest of course goes on to look at larger unit of speech. For example, recall 3 syllables, handpound 2 syllables, and many other. Stress is which called directly described as the relative strength of a syllabus. As an example of stress, consider the difference between the pronunciation of contracts as a noun days, signet a contract, and contract as a verb is started to contract. Intonation is the use of the pitch of the voice to convey meaning. A possible example of would be the different pitch movement on the word well, said as an explanation and as a question. In the first case, the pitch will usually fall from high to low, while in the second it will rise low to high. Chapter 2, the production of speech sound, articulator above the larynx. What is articulator? Articulator is a way of pronunciation and sound produced through the esophagus and mouth. We have a larger and complex set of muscles that can produce change in the shape of the vocal tract, and in order to learn how the sound of speech they produce, it is necessary to become familiar with the different parts of the vocal tract. Their different parts are called articulators, and the study of them is called articulators phonetic. This is a picture of articulators. One is the pairing, 2 is the soaplet or velum, 3 is the hard palate, 4 is the alveolar ridge, 5 is the tangy, 6 is the teeth, and the last is the lips. Vowel and consonant. Vowel are sounds in which there is no obstruction to the flow of air as it passes from the larynx to the lips. But if we make a sound like s, d, it can be clearly felt that we are making it difficult or impossible for the air to pass through the mouth. Most people would have no doubt that sound like s, d should be called consonant. For example, the usual sound produced at the beginning of into vowel and consonant. Chapter 2, the producing of speech sound, articulator above the larynx. We have a large and complex set of muscles that can produce change in the shape of the vocal tract, and in order to learn how the sound of speech are produced, it is necessary to become familiar with the different parts of the vocal tract. Their different parts are called articulators, and the study of them is called articulatory phonetic. This is picture of the articulators. One is the pairing, 2 is the soft palate or velum, 3 is the hard palate, 4 is alveolar ridge, 5 is the tangy, 6 is the teeth, and the last is the lips. Vowel and consonant. Vowel are sounds in which there is no obstruction to the flow of air as it passes from the larynx to the lips. But if we make a sound like s, d, it can be clearly felt that we are making it difficult or impossible for the air to pass through the mouth. Most people would have no doubt that sound like the should be called consonant. For example, the usual sound produced at the beginning of the word red is thought to be consonant by most English speakers, but in some other language, Mandarin Chinese, the same sound is treated as one of the vowel. English short vowel are only relatively short, as we shall see later. Vowel can have quite different lengths in different contexts. The symbol the short vowel are have six short vowel is e, e, o, and u. I will tell the example is beat, pin, piece, is bad, man, yes, is bad, man, guess, is cut, come, right, is pot, come, cross, u is put, pull, push. That is all of example. Third, three long vowel, diphthong and triphthong. Long vowel is the vowel which tend to be longer than the short vowel in similar contexts, because as well shall see later that the length of all English vowel sound varies very much according to their context, such as the type of sound that follows them and the presence or absence of stress. And long vowel have 5 symbol. This is 5 symbol. E, example word beat, mean, pitch. Example word bird, fern, purse. Example word card, hop, pause. Or example word bird, thorn, horse. Example word food, soon, lose. And diphthong is sound which consists of movement or glide from one vowel to another and are similar to the long vowel described above. And the symbol is containing diphthong is I, U, and ea. That is centering diphthong, and closing diphthong are a, I, oi, o, and au. And triphthong is the most complex English sound of the vowel tips and a glide one vowel to another and then to a third, all produced rapidly and without interruption. The symbol of triphthong is a plus is a, I plus is I, oi is a plus oi, eu plus is o, au plus is au. Therefore, voicing and consonant, the larynx. The larynx is in the neck. It has several parts. Its main structure is made of cartilage, a material that is similar to bone but less hard. There are hollow and are attached to the top of the trachea. When we breathe, the air passes through the trachea and the larynx. The changes are often important in speech. Let us first look at 4 easily recognizable states of the vocal fold. It would be useful to practice moving your vocal fold into the different positions. 1 is wide apart, 2 is narrow glottis, and 3 is positive for vocal fold. position for vocal fold vibration, and is plosive. A plosive is a consonant articulator. With one articulator is moved against another, or two articulators are moved against each other. After this structure has been formed and air has been compressed behind, it is realized that its air is allowed to escape. It is probable that the escape of air will produce noise loud enough to the ear. This noise is called pollution. The last, there may be voicing during part or all of the preceding articulators. English plosive. English has 6 plosive consonants p, t, k, b, d, and g. All 6 plosive can occur at the beginning of a word initial position, between other sound medial position, and at the end of a word final position. To begin with, we will look at plosive preceding vowel, which can be abbreviated as CV, where C stands for a consonant and V stands for a vowel. Between vowels VCV and following vowel VC. Fortis and Lenis. Some phoneticals say that Bataka are produced with more force than Badaga, and that it would be therefore be better to give the two set of plosives and some other consonant name that indicate the fact. So the vowels plosive Bataka are sometimes called fortis, meaning strong, and Badaga are then called Lenis, meaning weak. Chapter 5, Phonemes and Symbol. The phoneme. When we speak, we produce a continuous stream of sound. In studying speech, we divide this stream into small pitches that we call segment. The word man is pronounced with a first segment M, a second segment is and a third segment is N. In the alphabet, we have 5 letters that are called vowel: A, E, I, O, U. If we look at the short vowels I, E, O, and U, for example, we can see how substituting one for another in between the plosive P and T give us 6 different words as follow. Give in a spelling on the pit, pat, pat, put, pot, and put. Let us return to the example of letter of the alphabet. If someone who knows nothing about the alphabet, so the 4 character is like this. You can see symbol and transcription. The most important point to remember is the letter of version, seeming fact that the number of phonemic symbols must be exactly the same as the number of phonemes we decide in the language. However, some of our phonemic symbols consist of 2 characters. For example, we usually treat ch as in cheap as one phoneme, so ch is a phonemic symbol consisting of 2 characters, t and f. Phonology. When we talk about how phonemes function in language and the relationship among the different phonemes, when in other words we study the abstract side of the sound of language, we are studying a related but different subject that we call phonology. Chapter 6, Fricatus and Affricatus. Fricatus are consonants with the characteristic that are expressed through a narrow passage and make a hissing sound. Affricatus are rather complex consonants. The affricatus of English, that ch, j are the only 2 affricate phonemes in English, as with the plosives and most of the affricatus we have a farther or Lenis pair, and the voicing voicing characteristics are the same as for this other consonant. And for this consonant are usually articulated with open glottis, that is, with the vocal cords separated. This tip of plosive articulators is known as glottalization. Chapter 7. Nasal and other consonant. Nasal. The basic characteristic of a nasal consonant is that the air escapes through the nose. In nasal consonant, however, air does not pass through the mouth. It is prevented by a complete closure in the mouth at some point. The three types of closure are bilabial lips, alveolar tongue blade, again alveolar ridge, and velar, back of tongue again, and palate. We will now look at some ways in which the distribution of is unusual. 1. In initial position, we find n occurring freely, but never occurs in this position, with the possible expression of y. This makes the only English consonant that does not occur initially. 2. Medially occur quite frequently, but there is in BBC accent a rather complex and quite interesting rule concerning the question of when may be pronounced without a following plosive. The consonant l, the l phoneme, as in long, hill, is a lettering approximant. This is a consonant in which the passage of air through the mouth does not go in the usual way along the center of the tongue. Instead, there is complete closure between the center of the tongue and the part of the roof of the mouth where contact is to be made, the alveolar ridge in the case of l. The consonant an approximant as a type of consonant is rather difficult to describe informally. We can say that it is an articulation in which the articulators approach each other but do not get sufficiently close to each other to produce a complete consonant, such as plosive, nasal, or ricative. Important thing about the articulator of r is that the tips of the tongue approaches the alveolar area in approximately the way it would for a t or d, but never actually make contact with any part of the roof of the mouth. The consonant w and y. There are the consonants found the beginning of the words, such as yet and what. From the phonic point of view, the articulator of y is practically the same as the of the front closed vowels, such as e, but is very short. In the same way, w is close similar to u. Okay, that's enough. That's all my resume of unit 1 to 7. I'm sorry if my pronunciation still not good. And thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.